If you ain't tryna let me fuck, then that bitch is kicking rocks. Money bag chaser, denim full of knots. You ain't banging no yeast, you got your last homie shot. We making hoes flock, burning rubbers in the
What's going on with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed. And like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right, so let's get it done. Today, I'm going to be a little off subject. You know, I still got 10 more questions from my subscribers that I'm going to answer every chance I get. You already know. But this story is my seller's experience, I just thought was a funny story to tell you guys, being that you guys are, you know, very fond of, you know, these high-profile figures, these political figures that are talked about on YouTube a lot. And I got to hear a story from them, and I want to share it with you guys. With that being said, this is the merch that me and my brother Kid Kane are working on. You know, once I get a substantial amount of shirts, these are pro clubs, and then we're going to be putting the logo on them. You know, I hope to one day, you know, you guys could be buying these shirts from me so I can, you know, further my business and, you know, just take care of my family and take care of my son, you know, buy my son the better things in life that I didn't get to have. But, you know, tell me what you guys think. You know, Renegade Media, I'm going to come up with different logos. So with that being said, you know, stay tuned. I'm working my best. I'm doing my best. You know, I got to do the videos and I got to edit the videos and I got to, you know, color grade the videos. Then I answer your guys' questions. So I take notes. I take them down. I'm typing the book. And then, you know, I'm also creating the mugs. And I have the drawings already available, already framed for my subscribers. So with that being said, let's get into the topic, man. Don't forget to hit the subscription button. If you don't, that's fine with me. Hit the like button, share, always leave a comment because I'm going to ask a serious question at the end of this video. And I want to hear your guys' perspective on things. This was at the end of 2013. I did a battery. It was a simple melee. You know, it was us against the IRs at the time. I went to the hole, did about 6 months, and I got transferred to SADF E-Yard, which was a level 3 at the time, because they said I was pending transfer to Kern Valley due to the fact that the individual, the IR that we jumped, he accidentally A12 me off the yard, but he didn't A12 my other co-defendants. So I was filing that appeal, trying to get back to D-Yard because I like D-Yard, and they were sending me to Kern Valley at the time. During my time on E-Yard, which was the level 3, I did manage, along with the homie David Martinez and the homie Big Word from Westside Tulare, we established an incredible pipeline of smuggling in, you know, contraband, both, you know, drugs, narcotics, and cell phones. So I was winning for a while. I'll tell you guys that story in a later video, how it all transpired, because it'll blow your mind how it actually worked, how we managed to get it to work for 9 months. I wind up getting caught. My celly gets taken to the hole, and I get caught with my cell phones. But I had one cell phone down the tier that was with an older homie at the time that was holding it for me while I got caught because I knew they were coming. So I had to give up one to keep another one, just to keep them on my back to make IGI and ISU feel like they won. My celly goes to the hole, and it's about 7, 8 o'clock around the time that he went to the hole. Well, around 10, 11:30, you know, I was coming down off heroin. I was trying to fish with the homie to pick up my phone and my sack, but, you know, he was asleep, so I had to wait till the morning. But I get a celly that night. His name was Sniper from Artesia. Cool guy. But they broke my TV because they wanted to see if I had the cell phone hidden in the TV, which they found the cell phone in the light switch in the wall. So I didn't have nothing. He broke my TV. They took my CD player. They took almost all my property, left me in there with just my food and my paperwork. So he comes in. I give him a welcome home. You know, how you doing? We introduce ourselves, the proper introduction, exchange paperwork. And then I give him the top bunk, and we chopped it up all night, you know, where he was coming from, how long he was doing. You know, the usual. I made him something to eat because I know he was fresh off the bus. I made something to eat, and I told him, hey, it's going to be good. I got my bundle down the tier. I'm going to wait in the morning to pick everything up. We'll get high and we'll chill. I got a phone. I don't got a TV no more. So I'm going to have to hustle and get another TV. And he was like, nah, that's cool. I understand. So I spent the rest of the night talking about, you know, what took place, how everything transpired, and how they came and got us and snatched us up. My celly went to the hole. You know, they just found me with the cell phone. That was it. But we were on lockdown for 3 whole days. And the porters at the time, they weren't coming out. We were just doing showers, you know, minimum showers. So I had to wait all day to retrieve my stuff. And the cops were passing out the trays. So, You know, it was taking a little time to get my bundle. So, you know, usually when you don't have your property, he didn't have his property. He just got off the bus. You know, we were trading war stories and we were talking about what it was like on the main lines. You know, that's one of the most favorite things for us on SNYs to do is always talk about the main lines. You know, those were our glory days. Those were our days of, you know, when we had it all. He shared with me this story that blew my mind because, like I said, the conversation was in depth. We were talking about his big homies, my big homies. And then he told me this incredible story that made me laugh. It gave me a great laugh. But how it all turned out, which I'm going to ask you guys the questions about what would you do type stuff. He was an older homie, and he was out around the time that Weddle Shy was doing his thing on the streets of Artesia. You know, when the whole Maxon road murders took place with Pelon. He knew about a lot of it prior to that, but he didn't get into that much. All he said was this particular story. He said he was on the streets, and he had got into a big rumble at a bar, and some of his rival gang members broke one of his knees. So he was on crutches. He said Weddle Shy was around here and there, but he didn't have no interaction with them because he was just a regular Southsider. He didn't really pay to get into the politics. He just pretty much, you know, paid the usual taxes that his hood did, and, you know, he contributed, and he'd come around, smoke, and drink with the homies, but he didn't get involved with the Sureños and the politics, the camaradas, everything that they did and they were involved in. You know, he said he was just a normal Southsider. He wasn't tripping on none of that. He said he had a homie that one time went by the bar, a particular bar where Weddle Shy would show up to because that's where he would conduct his business. You know, he was taxing that bar. Him and his foot soldiers would have their meetings there, so on and so forth. He said that his homie didn't know that Weddle Shy had this particular truck, this old school truck that was fixed up, had rims. It was a nice truck. But in the back of that truck had a lot of stolen property, stolen goods, a bunch of tools, he said some speakers and, you know, amps. And I think he said Pioneer decks were in there too, but there was a bunch of stuff. He said his homie went back like 3 or 4 times, stealing as much of stuff as he could out of that truck, not knowing that it belonged to Weddle Shy and that Weddle Shy was in the bar at the time that it happened. So he comes up to my celly and he says, hey, look, bro, I came up on all this stuff. Hey, fool, let's cluck it, fool. You know, let's go get some feria on. Let's go get high, bro. Let's get this party. And so the homie, my celly said he was pretty much like, he was all for it. Like, all right, bro, I know some people I can call for this and this and that's going to take a little bit. But yeah, where'd you get it? When he explained to him that he stole it out of a truck at this particular bar, my celly says, hey, what kind of truck was it again? The guy told him what kind of truck, described the truck. And then my celly said, hey, bro, he started flipping out. And that he started telling his homie, like, hey, bro, you stole from a carnal, bro. You stole from Weddle Shy, bro. That's the big homie, bro. He started cussing him out, calling him an idiot. Like, why did he come bring him stuff over here to him? And his homie was pretty much saying, like, hey, fool, I didn't know. So he said his homie started panicking. He's like, well, what do you want me to do, bro? I just can't take it back now, bro. Like, we might as well just get rid of it and bounce, fool, leave the city and say we weren't even here. But my celly said, nah, bro, I don't want nothing to do with that, bro. I don't want nothing to do with this individual. You ain't finna get me crossed up on some of this, man. I still live here, fool. This is my barrio. This is my hood, bro. You can do whatever you want. You want to go get high, do whatever you want, but I'm not gonna get involved in none of this. He said they pretty much talked it over like 30, 40 minutes. They were smoking and drinking. You know, homie was getting a little high, a little too high, and was getting paranoid and weirded out. So he was like, look, bro, let me take care of it. I know a couple of the camaradas that actually work with him that are good friends of mine I went to school with. They're from my barrio. Let me go take care of it. You just don't show up. You go somewhere where you need to go, and I'll let you know how everything turns out, bro. So he's a homie that agreed to it. Mind you, my celly was still, at the time, he said he was in crutches, and his leg was in a cast. His knee was. So he said he had help from his wife at the time, because I remember we were in a cell. I let him use my cell phone, and he called her, and he was tripping out on her because she was on Facebook posting pictures of herself, and he flipped out, but, you know, to each his own, man. That's their business. His wife drove him to a particular house and talked to some of the camaradas right there and said, hey, man, I need to get in touch with Weddle. I have some of his stuff that got stolen last night. You know, I just want to give it back to him. If I can talk to him, no porfas, and if you can arrange that. His wife was waiting in the car with all the stolen property. He was in the house. He said Weddle Shy didn't show up for about 3 hours. And right before Weddle Shy showed up, they told Sniper, hey, get in the backyard. So Sniper is going out there in crutches in the backyard. And Sniper was telling me, he's like, bro, I was a little nervous, bro, because this fool's a straight killer. We all know he was a killer. I mean, he wasn't often in the hood. He was always in different places. I was like, it's not like I didn't see this personally, but, you know, this individual has that power, bro, to get rid of me, fool, just like that, fool. And I wasn't ready to lose my life over somebody else's stupidity because they wanted to get high. I didn't want to get high. He wanted to get high. And I understood. I was like, yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. So I'm like intrigued, bro. I'm sitting on my bed. You know, I'm drinking my my Cadillac coffee, you know, with the Snickers and the Fireballs in it. You know, I'm enjoying this, bro, because, you know, this is a profile figure we're talking about. And I've been hearing about this guy's name. He said Wedo Shai showed up and he walked through the back. But the way he described it was funny because he said, like, man, the only light that was in the backyard was just porch light from the neighbor that was illuminating only the area in which he stood in. He goes, everybody else was like in the dark, in the shadows, standing to the side. There was 3 camaradas at the time. He said they were right there telling him to wait. He goes, and you just see Wedo come from the side of the house, just walking up, strolling, real smooth. He said it was smooth, like if he was floating. And then he walked up to Marcelli Sniper, and Sniper's right underneath his light talking about, hey, fool, I got your stuff in the car. He said, Wedo Shai asked him, hey, fool, so you're the vato that stole my shit earlier? And he had to explain himself. He said, no, look, one of my homies obviously said he didn't know that was your vehicle, didn't know who it was. He was just, you know, he was just fiending. He wanted to get high, and so he just jacked that car. Or he stole that stuff, not knowing who it belonged to, bro. He goes, and I don't want to get caught up for this, and I already know who you are, and dispensa, but I got your stuff in the car. I just want to give it back to you. That way I'm not caught up in this bullshit, and neither is my homie. And he said, Wedo Shai looked at him. He goes, hey, well, who's your homie? Call your homie. That fool got something coming, man. He got a Chicala for sure coming. Get him on the phone. And Marcelli Sniper didn't want to throw his homie under the bus because that's also a childhood friend. And he also said, hey, bro, I can't do that, bro. I'm just not going to give you my homie like that. Hey, bro, I brought you your stuff, bro. I'm trying to figure out a way to resolve this without bringing my homie into this. You know, he made a dumbass mistake. Well, he'll pay for that. And he said Wedo Shai just socked him in the mouth. So Marcelli said, hey, bro, I'm a grown man, bro. I just can't let another man hit me, but this dude is who he is. Marcelli Sniper said he threw the crutches down on the ground and was going to square up with Wedo Shai, but the 3 camaradas showed up and were like, hey, fool, that's a big homie, fool. If you put hands on him, bro, it's a wrap, bro. So Marcelli Sniper said he froze and he didn't know what to do, but he couldn't live with the fact that this fool hit him in the mouth. And that Wedo Shai was like, hey, fool, you sure you want to put your life on the line for this vato that stole from me? Marcelli stuck to his guns. He pretty much said, hey, bro, I'm not going to throw my boy under the bus, bro. He said he didn't know. That was his fault. You know, well, I'll bring it up to the homies in the hood and we'll give him a beating, bro. He'll have something coming, bro. But if he said he didn't know, he didn't know. He was just scared to show up here. But I did it to show you that I'm not involved in this and that I want to be left out of this, bro. Here's your stuff. I got it in the car. My wife's been waiting for hours out there ready to give it back to you. He said that Wedo Shai pulled the camaradas to the side and left them right under there underneath that porch light. And they chopped it up for about 5 minutes. And then he came back. He was like, all right, fool, I'm going to have my homies go grab the stuff out of the trunk. Let your wife know they're on their way. So Sniper calls his wife, tells him they open the trunk. They're going to grab everything out. And they put it in Wedo Shai's truck. Wedo Shai started talking to Marcelli Sniper. He goes, look, your homie, if I find out who he is, has something coming. Believe that. More than a chacala. He goes, but as long as I don't find out who he is, it's whatever. Just make sure he doesn't do it again and make sure to tell him that I said he better watch his behavior. I better not find out that he's out here stealing people's properties without him knowing. He goes, but I'm going to give you your respects, Carnalito, because you didn't tell on your homie. And he straight up admitted to Marcelli, like, man, he would have looked at him a little different if he actually did throw his homie under the bus. But since he did it, and that shows strong characteristics from Marcelli at the time, Sniper, that he had to respect him even though he already hit him in the mouth and, you know, made him feel disgraceful in front of other men that, you know, he got punched in the face and couldn't do nothing about it. So after it was all said and done, Wedo Shai left, the camarada stood there, and he got back in the car and his wife, and he went home, called his homie up, but his homie already had left town to a different city. And then he told him, like, hey, fool, just don't do that shit again, man. You put me in a bad predicament. He explained how Wedo hit him in the mouth. But he also told his homie, like, look, bro, they're going to be looking for you. And they find out who you are, bro. There's nothing I could do. I just did this for myself, so I didn't get caught up in this bullshit, fool, because I'm not going to let you take my life, man. I got babies out here, bro. She's all, don't come to my house no more with stolen stuff, bro. I'm cool with that, fool. You're cut off from me from coming to my house. And the homie respected it, and that was it. So after the story was done, I'm listening to Marcelli, and I'm like, damn, bro, like, there was an occasion that kind of happened to me, bro, but it kind of sucks that you get socked in the face and not be able to do nothing about it. And then Marcelli kind of laughed, and he goes, hey, bro, to be honest with you, I'm in crutches, bro. It wasn't shit I could do anyways, bro. I ain't going to put up no fight. He goes, too, bro, this is a, nah, bro, this is the big homie on the streets, bro. He goes, we respect these fools, man. I'll be damned if I lay a hand on them, bro. I'd have been done right there, bro. They probably buried me in the backyard. So we got to laugh out of it. But then, you know, there's always going to be that part of you as a man, anybody is like, man, I would never let another man hit me in the mouth and not do nothing about it. But then you also got to remember, you know, it is a big homie. And these guys, these Mexican mafia members, bro, they snap of a finger, bro, you're dead, you're gone. They got that kind of power and influence, especially over the camaradas, sureños, and Southsiders in these barrios that are real deep, that are willing to make a name on behalf of these individuals' blessings. So what do you guys think about that situation? You think, being that it was Güero Shy, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have done your research on YouTube and heard his story. You guys would have fought back, hit him back, put yourself in that predicament. What would you guys have done? Because I honestly I can't even answer that question, because that was Marcelli's particular situation. He reacted the way he needed to react and how he felt was best to protect his life, but protect his homie. Didn't throw his homie under the bus, so I find that kind of honoring. That, you know, he didn't let his homie get killed over something so small as, you know, petty theft. And then he got socked in the mouth in the process anyways. So what would you guys have done? But, you know, but it's an ugly predicament to be in, to get hit by your own homie and you really can't react the way you want to react. I don't think no man wants to live with the fact that some other man punched him in the face and you can't do nothing about it. So what would you do if you were in Marcelli's predicament and Güero Shy, or anybody in particular of that sort of nature and status, of that stature, you know, Mexican mafia connected, hit you in the mouth because of something somebody else did? How would you guys react? I would like to know the answer. Leave a comment, hit the like button. I hope you guys enjoyed that little story. I just thought it was a funny story. You know, I didn't have no personal experiences with Güero Shy, but Marcelli did a cool story to share. So with that being said, thank you guys for your guys' time. Got to get back to these questions. I review them, and I try to break them down in my head and write down notes in order to answer them thoroughly. One life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Peace.